What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to Connected by Creatures. We got an awesome guest tonight. Zach and I are proud to announce we got Mr. Antoine Hood from High Desert Pythons. What's up, Antoine?
What's up? How's it going, man?
This man
Oh
bringing in
man.
his own hype train. I hear you. I hear you.
Oh man.
That's
I'm
how you
Good
doing
to see
start
you,
good,
it
man.
man.
out, man.
Happy to be here, brothers, man. Good to see both of you looking fresh and young and pretty and all that good stuff.
Fuck out of here.
Man, so speaking of good to see people, like how you feeling, man? You feeling all right? You feeling good?
Yeah, this is the best I felt since about a week ago, man. So I'm thinking I'm about like at 80, 85% or whatever, but no one still knows what happened. The doctors don't know. For those who don't know, I was told on Sunday that I had a heart attack, so that was kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
at but at 39 years old, I'm like, hell no, no way. So
Yeah.
uh,
Man,
Well, and,
39
so
years old and an athlete, and
I
yeah,
was gonna say
so
active. Yeah.
they did a bunch of blood tests and stuff like that. And they said the first test they did, they said I had enzymes indicative of a mild heart attack. But then
Okay.
like I got an emergency angiogram, EKG, ultrasound, freaking 3D ultrasound, color scan, a battery of blood tests done, and they found absolutely positively nothing. So
That's
that's
crazy.
crazy, man. So what
yeah,
exact
so
like what exactly happened? How are you feeling that made you even think
so
about
so Friday evening, I was just doing my normal thing, just like messing around in the snake room, getting ready for feed day on Sunday. Like 2 days out from that, I just like clear out, like see who's shampooed and spot clean. Then I started to feel like remember like real bad indigestion, almost like heartburn or whatever. It was like that, and I was like, well, maybe I ate some like BS food early in the day. So I was like, yeah, I just walk it off. So I'm just going off
Yeah.
like I drink some ginger ale or some shit like
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
it a
Yeah.
day. So then the next morning, I got up early in the morning, still feeling kind of weird. I was like, this is odd. So I drank like some clear seltzer water to see if I could burp. Nothing happened. So I was like, all right, let me get my rifles. I got my rifles together, went out to the desert and test fire some builds I just did. And then like, man, I feel worse.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then so then later on that day, I watched the UFC fights like the entire card from like 3 p.m. until they were over like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, man, maybe I should just go to sleep. Maybe I'm just tired. So I went
Right.
to sleep, got up in the morning, and I was like, fuck. I was like crawled over, like clenching my chest and stuff too. I was like, well, maybe I should go to the hospital. So
Yeah. Yeah. At that point. At that
hopped in
point,
the
maybe you should consider it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hopped in the car and went to the hospital.
it? Drove
Damn, son.
yourself?
Yeah, and then they was like, man, we need to take you, we need to take you to a specialist. So we're gonna take you in the ambulance to Palmdale,
Yeah.
which is like an hour and a half from me. So then they shot me
Whew.
down there, and I stayed overnight, and they did all their stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Well,
a
you know.
crazy weekend.
No, no. Well, at the end of the day, man, like we said, we won't dwell on this too much. Obviously, I think you've definitely had enough of it, from start till now. But I'm glad to see you're at home, and like I said, the first thing I asked you when I saw you is how's your head feeling? Because I know you told me that
Mhm.
was your biggest thing that was
Yeah,
still going on, and that kind of stuff worries you. It's scary, but
but
I'm just glad you're feeling good today.
but honestly, man, I do think I don't mind talking about it because even if it was like on the other end where they found like a bunch of like clogged arteries and plaque and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah,
that's stuff that we should know about and start thinking about too. Because I made a joke about it on Facebook, but the doctors was like, "Do you have a family history of like heart disease or heart attack?" I was like, "Well, I'm fucking black, of course I." you know, so but
yeah. I mean,
like African Americans are high risk for heart disease and heart attacks and things like that too. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, I made a joke out of it, but I'm looking at them like, are you like, where have you been, people? So, but on the other side of that, though, I mean, I don't know how to say this delicately, but dude, look at the reptile community, man. How many? It's a lot of big dudes out there that's not
Yeah,
really
man.
in the best shape. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it's important, man. I mean, I've got friends that I have literally reached out to that have not had any medical issues, but I have
mhm,
good friends that I know that are just not in the best of
right.
shape, and I have literally reached out to them and said, "Listen, man, like I don't want this to be weird, but like, dude, I need you as your friend. I need you to take
Yep.
better care of yourself because like I want
Yeah,
you to
and
still be here next year."
Right. And I mean, and I'm not like in marathon runner shape right now either, you know, just from like
No,
years
but
of
you do a
martial
lot
arts in the
better than
military.
most.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I can still go out and run 3 miles if I want to. I wouldn't try now because, you know, but whatever. But,
Right.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
might not want
so
to
I
do
mean,
it
like
tonight, but
if I had to, you know what I mean? And, you know, but like
yeah,
I still run my gym. Like I still do jujitsu with like 19 and 22-year-olds and shit for hours on end, you know. So,
yeah,
I'm not sitting out doing anything, but I'm not really making the best food choices either sometimes because I'm always on the go, always traveling. You know, you really can't. I don't have a meal pack company with me, so sometimes I grab fast food and sometimes I'll drink
yeah,
soda, which is my biggest vice. You know, so. But
yeah.
you know, just you know, everybody got to think like I don't drink alcohol hardly. Like the last time I probably drank anything when I was like double fisted with Miguel, like fucking and always and then
There's definitely no photographic evidence of that
yeah,
exists.
I
So
have
it's
not had
fine.
a single
Nobody's
drink
gonna
since
believe it.
then. And yeah, so you know, like I'm not a smoker at all, like, I don't do any drugs. So it was just like, what the hell, man? Because the doctor looked at me and was like, "Hey, man, like you look too healthy for a heart attack. You didn't like try meth or anything." I was like, "Nah, I'm cool."
like, yeah, just on a whim, you know.
Yeah,
You know
I
how
was
it
like,
is.
I
I
just
was like,
figured I'd give that shit a try.
yeah, I was like, I admire you, how direct you are, you know, but
Right.
but
Like
no,
I was gonna say I actually kind of respect that.
yeah, man. So,
But man, you
but
know, it's crazy thinking about it though. And I've talked to Zach about this. I had a friend of mine that worked with me for a few years, and like he was into bodybuilding, played baseball and softball every weekend, in great shape, and 34 years old, man, and had a massive heart attack and passed away.
that's
Like
that's
it's
insane,
you
bro.
just you and I think that I have a problem with it, and I know most guys have a problem with it. You know, oh, we'll just shake that shit off. We ain't worried. You know, like you were saying, you
Hmm.
let that shit go on for all day and then all night, and maybe I'm just tired. I don't feel like I hate going to the doctor. I hate going to places like that, a
Well,
hospital, any of that shit. But man, when your body is telling you something, you know, we got to pay attention to what our body's saying because you never
Yeah.
know
right,
what the
man.
hell's
And
going
then, and most men too, you know, we're like, like my mom and my sister telling me, like, you know, most men we just don't go to the doctor if we don't need to. Like, I've been paying for this health insurance for this company for 11 years, and
Right.
I've been to the hospital like twice, you know,
for sure, for
so,
sure.
you know, so, and then
I'm glad I'm not the
like,
only person whose brain works that way.
yeah, man, it's just something weird we got in us, man. It's just like, you know what, man, if I can still walk, you know, I deal with the doctor and stuff
Yeah.
too, like all the stuff they did to me this weekend, I paid like $150 copay over like the entire weekend and like tens of thousands of dollars in tests and
Yeah.
shit. So, but I mean, yeah, it was a big lesson for me, man. And I just hope a lot of people use my example to know, start, no, get checked out and figure some things out. But like I said, they have no idea what actually happened. I think that I tried to jack back into the Matrix without any equipment or some shit. But that's my
That makes the most
thing.
sense to me. I mean, that's the
That's what
most logical
happens,
explanation I've
you
heard.
know.
That's
Fucking
what I'm gonna choose to believe. Okay,
yep.
moving forward.
So, but I
No.
got too much I got too much shit to do, man, to believe in this earth voluntarily. So fucking you gotta have to fucking really do some shit to take me out. But
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, I mean, you know, I text you already, man. And told you,
yep.
man, that and no, that the other side don't want you yet. they,
Hmm.
they ain't ready for you. So you gotta hang
Yep.
out with us for a little while longer. You
I
know,
think you should blame it on the Chandler fight.
For real, bro.
That Chandler fight was
I,
ridiculous,
I
man.
lost so much money in that damn fight, man.
and it was public too. I mean, which I respect about you. You put your shit out there, man. Can nobody ever say you don't put your shit out there
Yeah, I
100%?
mean, honestly, there's a part of me that enjoys like the comment section coming back. Ooh, how you
Oh,
feel now about the
100%.
guy losing? You
Yes.
know, I'm like, it's
Yes.
a when it comes down to it, dude. If I knew who was gonna win all the time, I wouldn't need to be selling fucking hides and shit and fucking things like
Right.
that. I just be
Right.
a pro gambler, you know. But you know, hey, a different ref would have stopped that fight too. You know, in the first round when Chandler had him.
Hey, no
So
doubt,
you know what I
no
mean. So
doubt.
it all you know, just a matter of circumstance, man. But I'm happy for Charles, man. That's another kid. You know, poor kid living in the favelas of Brazil all his life, finally getting that UFC gold, man. You know, that's most of the kids' dream nowadays. You know, so I'm happy for it. He was a good fighter. I never had anything against him. I just thought Michael Chandler was gonna be too much for him, and
Yeah.
that man got a little
I
more.
did too, man. I thought Chandler was just gonna almost
Yep.
steamroll him, but it
Well, that's what's fun about the
So
fights, though. It's really it's anybody any day. It just
Exactly.
depends, man. Depends on who shows up. So no, that's good stuff. But hell, let's jump into this stuff, guys. For anybody that doesn't know, Antoine, obviously you've been into the ball python game for a long time, long before your social media, which I love. I think you're that kind of even still hidden gem. Like you're way bigger than a lot of us, but you're still underestimated.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where you were just always learning, you know what I mean? And like I just I'm in like a lot of different industries, and like when I feel like when people tell me I have like this ascension or this quick rise and stuff like that, I'm like, no, you just see what you see now. But I've been doing my longs for years, and even like now when I get calls from people about advice, I almost have like that imposter syndrome. I don't know if you guys ever felt that before, but like,
yes,
like man,
dude,
like you, like dude, there's thousands of people you can call. You hit me up about advice about incubators and shit and breeding and stuff like that. I'm like, so that's why like people think I do it for like the security thing when I say, okay, this is what works for me. But no, it's like I don't want to be dictate to somebody how they should do their stuff. Even though there's a lot of wrong ways to take care of these animals, but there's also a lot of right ways too. And whenever like, I'm online and I see forums like World Ball Python group that I participate a lot in and things like that, because that seems to be one of the cooler groups, which is crazy. But like a lot of times, like people just a question about like substrate for incubation, and I'll say like, there's a lot of things you have to consider, like your elevation, your average temperature around you too, your humidity, and like your different conditions. And I had like some bigger breeders challenge on that, call me, and was like, I like to hear, how you feel about with stuff like that too. And because I used to live on the East Coast in North Carolina, like below sea level, right? Yep. And now I'm living in California in the dry ass desert, 3,000 feet above sea level. Yeah. When you go to YouTube and you ask about using vermiculite and hatchite, you'll hear the cookie cutter response: 1-to-1 ratio of substrate to water by weight. Right? Yeah. How many times have we all heard that?
More times than I care to count.
Now, if I go to North Carolina and do that 1-to-1 and squeeze it, it's going to be perfect. If I do that shit here at 3,000 square feet with 3% humidity average per year, it's going to above like powder. Yeah. So when you see some kid listen to that on YouTube trying to do it the right way that way, and now he puts his eggs in the substrate, now it's all designated and dried out, you know, because he got that gouge and stuff too. So a lot of times people don't take that into effect. When you incubate your eggs, depending on where you live at, if you put your incubator up against a wall and the wall is facing your house at high noon, your wall is going to get hot. Your incubator is going to get hotter and kill your eggs.
See, this is shit people don't talk about. But here's the thing. Like, do you think that that's a problem? I think of other people that aren't like us, right? With that imposter syndrome, because there are people that don't have that. And a lot of times it's the dumbasses that don't have that about themselves. They just think, oh, I read this and this is fact. I take this as fact. They thought no further beyond that. And then they take that information and they share it blindly. And then they share it blindly. We need to remind people to think for themselves, right? In this hobby as much as possible. Like, yes, I want to instruct you on how to do something, but also I don't. Exactly. I'm not existing in your snake room, and your snake room is gonna be different from my snake room and the next snake room. So what I would rather do is explain the concept of incubation, like what's required, like high humidity but not wet, and have you kind of work through that on your own and figure out what level of water and that you know what I mean. Empower people, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. But then some people, though, you get to the point where you try to explain to them like some of those nuances, and then you get too sciencey for them, and then they just start to like nod off, and then they don't want to hear it.
Yes.
But then you explain, okay, like I know people, right, who build incubators, and they leave it completely empty, but they put their little thermometers in there, and they what's the little sensor push things, right? They'll stick them all through there, and they'll have them running for months or whatever like that, right? I'm like, oh, it's perfect, and I'm like, send me some pictures, and they're like, okay, here. I'm like, okay, where's the substrate in the boxes? Oh, I didn't put it in there. I don't have any eggs. But why didn't you run it? If you're simulating the working machine, why didn't you put like at least like tubs in there sealed? With your substrate and your water in it, because that's going to affect the inside of the incubator.
All is going to
variables. You got all the variables, man.
Like, you want to get rid of all those variables, man. So when you test
I can attest to that. I did load calculations for heating and air systems in houses,
Right.
And I can tell you right now, like I had to account for so many little details. Like when we were running loads for houses, I had to account for like roughly how many people do we estimate are going to live in the home. Do you have to account for body heat even? And even something as simple as that, if you miss out on adding that into the calculation, or like you were saying, what direction does your house face? That might actually change the size of a system that you need on your house. It's the same concept with your incubator for any or even just your snake room. What side of your house is it on? If it faces east, it's going to be way hotter.
In 2017, I killed a clutch of GHI Xanthics and Super GHI Xanthics and Dreamsicles because I had it up against the wrong wall. And then one day I came home on lunch early and looked into the incubator and it said it was 104 in there.
It was just cooked. Yeah. Yep. Cooked.
Nope.
Done. That fast.
Yep, I pulled all those things out, solid.
Don't anybody do the math because Antoine's already done the math and he probably knows how much he lost off that based on that year. What year did you say that was again?
Was it 2017? Yeah, 2017.
2017 with those kind of genetics, bro.
Yeah, so
humble. That's also a little bit of a humble brag. Can we roll into that a little bit? Like you got a hell of a damn collection over there, dude.
It's coming along, man, and which is the reason why. Which is the reason why I started putting my face out there because I started realizing I'm like, dude, I spent like 6 figures in the last year and a half on these snakes, but I was like, dude, I'm not gonna be able to sell these motherfuckers.
Right?
Like,
you got to build that. You got to build that client base.
Yeah, the same 11-year-old girl buying Lemon Blast from me every year is not gonna buy a Hurricane Lesson Cloud. You know. I don't think we jumping from $100 to $6,000 like that, you know, because I had to do some soul searching, man, and I was just like, when I got the animals that I got, and if I saw them on Morph Market and it was a person I never heard of, I just skipped to the next person, you know, even if I spending more money, you know. So if somebody has something I want and it was $4,000, but then you know somebody like Justin or Ozzy, or not even like at that level, but somebody with kind of a decent following, you know, for like
somebody you heard of,
1,500 more. I'd rather spend the extra money, knowing I'm going to get a healthy animal. The security,
it's a security thing.
Well, and in reptiles, man, it means a lot, and I think that for you, you know, you personally, your personality is going to be a huge marketing point for you, man. And I'm glad and happy to see, you know, what you've done in your face out there, because I think you're really good for the reptile community. Just, you know, how you present yourself, and you know, genetics will sell, but when you have that good person that you know that you can do business with, and that's going to be, you know, a positive business experience, it's just going to help your market grow, man.
Yeah. So, and I thought about that too, man, because early on in the ball pythons, I got a lot of backlash. You know, like, I mean, this is like my 3rd iteration right now because it's moving through the country, and you know, like, and then failing with the whole desert project and things like that too. You know, but early on it was just like forums where there was no faces, and you know, you didn't know you are, like when. Like literally, like all the time, I got people. Oh man, I don't think reptiles are for you. Go back to pit bulls and shit, and you know, things like that, and blah blah blah. And then like even people that you know, man, black people don't mess with reptiles. You crazy and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So like, dude, I've been dealing with reptiles since the 80s. You know what I mean? Like I was selling and raising my own like DK's snakes or whatever like that back in like 87, 88, when I just like had them in my like collecting them out of my little hip pouch, my fanny pack, in the big tank and stuff too, you know. So
that's what's up, man.
I had a female have some live babies in a giant mason jar, you know what I mean? And then I had to like take them out when I was getting tagged up by her, and I failed miserably. She bit me and I cried like a little bitch. She was like, my mom was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, Matt Martha bit me. She's like, you got a fucking snake named Matt Martha.
What is wrong with you?
Even back then,
why are you like this?
I was advertising with alliteration and shit like that too, man.
Yeah.
I was on it early, man. So, but yeah, man, it was just, as a kid, that was always a thing of mine. I was like, dude, one day I'm gonna like raise my own reptiles and like have my own pet store, and I'm also like run my own martial arts gym. And that was that early on. Like that's all I ever gonna do my whole entire life, and that's what I'm doing now. So
yeah.
Yep.
That's a hell of a transition.
Dream, man.
Yeah,
man.
that's a hell of a transition because we love to talk about the animals and this and the other, but obviously we like to talk a lot more about just the people. Everybody knows, I think, at this point about me. I like to try to crack the code, man. Like I feel like there's something in 90% of the successful or people that I consider to be successful, right? I consider you to be a very successful person. I always try to figure out like how and why. Like, how did you get here, man? Like, what makes you wired the way you are? And obviously there's something in your wiring, right? You know, you said it when you were a kid, like I made these decisions and then I made it happen. Like that's pretty much how your life story has gone in a very short way. And obviously there's a lot of work and shit in between. But what I mean, is there something you credit that to? Is there a person? Is there an experience? Something you can point people in the direction of?
My mom, she didn't want anything to do with the snakes, obviously.
Yeah.
So that part,
Yeah.
she was like, "Hey, you know what? Because I was always great in school. I did everything she told me to do. You know, even my younger siblings, I was always like babysitting them when she was working multiple jobs, and
Yeah.
you know, like when she got divorced and when she was like before she got with her husband now and stuff like that too. So like I was just always like, you know, a good friend of her, good listening ear. And I was, you know how like you ever meet a kid that was like, you know, this kid must have been here before. That's what my mom always said. She was like, I don't know about this little motherfucker, but he been here before. So
yeah,
so
no, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
for some reason, man, she said that all the time. And then but I sat down and I like, look, mom, I know you hate snakes, right? But I want to learn how to raise them up, and if I do end up going to college, no, I want to be a zoologist and do all this stuff like that. And gave her like a full plan of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, but I think I'm having the hands-on experience is a lot better than just reading through books, you know. Because think about it, mom. Would you rather have somebody work on your car who theoretically knows how to work on a car, or do you want somebody who's like been there and like know their bones and getting dirty under the hood? She was like, I hate that you make so much sense, you know. So,
you can't argue with it, you know.
You can't argue with it too. And like, I mean, I bought my own stuff. I mean, you know, like ever since I was 13 years old, I've only been unemployed since then for about 4 months. And that was like after I got the Marine Corps and waiting for my job at Boeing and shit. But between then, man, I've been delivering papers, getting up 3 a.m. every day through middle school and high school. So, and all that was, I used that to buy freaking Jordans and then and takes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's it. And then later on, it was like, you know what? I really don't need $150 sneakers, but guess what, man? I need this $200 fucking Coach whip or whatever. I don't know why.
Yeah, whatever it was that day. Yeah.
I don't know why I had a Coach whip, but whatever. Like,
no, I get it though, man. Like everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their thing. So I got friends that spend their money on sneakers, and I'm the guy that spends my money on snakes, and I don't give a shit about X, Y, and Z. You know, we all got our thing we focus on.
And then when you're a black kid in the city of East Orange and Newark, New Jersey, you're walking around with garter snakes and shit like that. People want to tend to kick your ass. So I was like, maybe I should learn how to fight too. So
yeah, just one hand wash. So one hand wash the other. You're just like, all right, I want to continue this lifestyle, so I gotta learn how to hurt people.
Yeah, and
so you mentioned the DKs. What was the first snake that you actually bred? What was it? The
DKs. Yep, DKs. Yep, they're the first ones. Yep. So, and it was just I just had them in like this gigantic like I found this terrarium like in the trash that literally was like in perfect condition, and I put my own substrate in there. I was like, okay, they living out in this empty lot with these boards and this like these shitty leaves and like this terrible dirt. So So I just started throwing them in there. Didn't know how to sex them or anything until like I found some books at the library and was like, dude, I've been probing like colubrids since the 80s and stuff, man. So which is just like nuts. And some like a couple of years went by and I had like 20 in the tank at one time. Then I had like fucking 30 babies here, and then I would just take them out. Here's a baby, and sell them. I learned how to feed them. And because people were like, oh no, they eat ants. I was like, are you fucking stupid? They don't eat ants.
Right.
So then I just happened on some earthworms and some slugs, and they were tearing them bad boys up. So then I had like little care sheets I was writing down on my like ripped note paper and shit.
Dude, this is the shit people don't talk about, right? Like this is crazy. I didn't know about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I knew you started early, but I didn't know about any of all this, man.
Yeah, man. I've always loved big animal lover my whole life, big reptile lover, man. Like Dude, like the whole from 4th to like 6th grade, I had like a little Carolina Knoll or whatever like that. I named
Yeah.
Marty, like the one on Saved by the Bell that they killed and shit. Remember that?
Yep.
I had him for a long time too. Brought him to school, man. He was so dope. And then we moved to Trenton, New Jersey, and the chick at the fucking pet store suggested that we give him some like calcium supplement. He ate that shit the first day, died the next morning. I was like,
no
you fucking
shit. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, man, I had to fucking wring her fucking neck. But hey, can I curse on this? I don't want to. If I can't,
Yeah.
I don't want to demonetize.
There's no, you're
No,
good,
you're
bro.
good.
There's no filters here. You're all set.
After about 40 F words, but
Yeah, no, trust me. No, you're good. We'd have said something by now. No.
Yeah, man, it's just as far as how I got down and stuff too, man. And then growing up, we never really were rich or not even like middle class growing up too. And then there were a lot of times my mom was having problems with like her ex and things like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some times I didn't know where the hell we're going to eat that day or where my head was going to be laid at. So I told myself, man, as soon as the moment I can help it, I'm not doing this shit again. So and just ever since, man, that's why I've always held like multiple jobs and like things like that too.
No.
So.
And that's why I like to ask that question, man. Because one thing I'll say is I like to hear the story, and then I like to tell people what my takeaway is. Is, dude, like I can tell from what you were saying, like it sounded more to me like your mom instilled a lot of confidence in you.
Yeah,
like she lit, and she was, and dude, you weren't afraid to. In other words, she supported you no matter what, in the sense that you weren't afraid of the fact that even though she hated these snakes and stuff and the other, dude, you were so willing to just like pitch that idea, and you were dedicated enough to it to educate yourself beforehand, and the whole nine.
Rational decision.
Yeah, exactly. But again, to me, like that just sounds like just confidence and having known that there was trust in you from a young age, and I think that's tremendous. And then again, that business side is just from just like that constant hustle. Because man, I grew up the same way. Like my parents not having a lot of things, and so like hell, I remember I got sick. I got real sick in elementary school. I almost died from an asthma attack.
Oh, shit.
We never knew I had asthma, but when I was in 3rd grade, I was like 7, maybe 8. I had an asthma attack in the middle of the night, and same thing. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'm fine. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to wake anybody up and worry anybody, whatever. Dude, finally, come the morning, I like told him, I was like, hey, like I don't feel good. Like I feel like I'm gonna throw up. What it was, I was trying to use my stomach to breathe because my lungs were basically shut down.
Man.
So, dude, I had to be rushed to the hospital. But anyways, my whole hospital stay. Same thing. They're anything that they like suggested. Like I kept asking, I'm like, hey, does my insurance cover that? I'm 7 years old, and I'm asking them. I'm like, hey, they're like talking about something. I'm like, does my insurance cover that procedure? Like, what the fuck you guys are talking? Like, whatever you guys are talking about, I need to know if my insurance covers this. Because the thing is that parents don't realize that no matter how young you are, man, you start picking up on cues. Like if there's cues that you're seeing,
you listen to things,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, okay, well then how can I help that situation? Like. So if my parents don't have money, well, then I need to make sure that I'm also paying attention to how our money is being spent. So then you start taking that shit on yourself. And the same thing, man, I remember being like 9, 10 years old. And I'm like, I can't wait till I can have a job. I had that conversation with my mom at one point. Like, oh, I'm so excited to have a job. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like you're 10 years old. I'm like, yeah, but I'm so excited to work. And it was because I don't have to worry about somebody else paying my way for shit, Yeah. And so I think that's 100%, man. You start early enough, just start thinking about, okay, well, I'm gonna make some money some way, somehow, on my own for myself, and not have to ask for nothing. So no, I love that, man. I think that's a hell of a damn origin story for sure.
I feel you on that, man. That's awesome. See, I told you we were brothers, man. Shit, what you talking about?
I know. I know. It's the fact.
Coming from right there where you were at, you got to the point you're running around with garter snakes. You got to learn how to fight. So we got your backstory of how you got into reptiles.
Yes.
Where did you start with martial arts and your training and doing that? What was your?
All right, so all the adults on my grandmother's side and her sister's side, all being from like central to northern New Jersey. That time, the early 80s, is when a Korean guy by the name of Jun Ree moved to New York, and he actually founded like the American Taekwondo. So my mom, my uncles, my cousins all went to New York and trained Taekwondo back then, and everybody was just big martial arts fans. Like my mom thought she was like Pam Grier, like Foxy Brown and shit, and could like kick everybody's ass. And like and then like my cousin Will actually. Do you guys ever see the movie like Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon?
Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I love that
So
movie. It's one of my favorite
so
movies ever.
my cousin Will beat Time Mac for the part, the guy who got it in the movie, but they had no way to get a hold of him because he had no phone.
No
Are you
shit.
serious? So he would have been
Wow.
Leroy.
Yeah. So my cousin Will would have been Leroy if they had a way to get a hold of him because he went to the audition and like killed it, like weapons and
Damn.
like different disciplines and
Dude.
stuff like that too. And then so which I thought was a crazy thing too. And like still to this
Yeah.
day, that's all you hear about to this day too. 35 years later, like man,
He hangs his
I ain't
hat on
watching
that story still.
I ain't watched that movie. Still stuck on that movie stuff too. But I
Who's
mean,
the
honestly.
master?
I'm glad. I'm glad things turn out the way they do for a reason. You know what I mean? Because like
100%.
he's built like a Ninja Turtle more than like Time Mac is. So he should have definitely been one of the damn Ninja Turtles instead.
I was that was gonna be my follow-up question is I was gonna say like how did that work out for him? Like but I also didn't want to ask because I'm like I don't want to hear that he's like turned into what's the fucking the dude that lives in the trailer park, Diamond Dave
yeah,
or whatever, like
yeah.
throwing you know what I'm talking about.
So unfortunately though, like in 1989, he got hit by a Domino's pizza car, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's like kind of mentally like disabled now, but
That's
he
terrible.
was
Yeah.
he was rich for all but 3 years, and then you know how that happens.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey,
he
man.
did run into some money. So the universe does
Yeah.
have a weird way
Hey,
of
I was gonna say in
you
the
know,
long run, yeah, he had his fun,
but
he had his opportunities.
but yeah, he's just on disability for the rest of his life, and he's like
Yeah,
a video gamer now too. So like he
yeah.
can fuck you up in some Mortal Kombat 11 still, and he's like in his 50s. So
That's crazy. That's crazy.
so going back to that, so it was kind of forced on me at an early age anyway. So
Hmm.
I did Taekwondo for a few years, and it just kind of really wasn't my thing for whatever reason. So I took a little break, and then got towards middle school, and I was like, you know what, let me kind of get back into martial arts and kind of see what's going on. So we had a summer program leading to high school where the guidance counselor was a professional kickboxer and he did Goju karate. So I tried that out that summer before I got into 8th grade, and then from that moment on until the month before I graduated high school, I got my black belt in Goju karate inside of like almost like 4 years or something like that too.
Damn.
So, and in that time frame, like I competed like all over New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, in full contact and point tournaments, things like that too. And yeah, so it's just something. It's one of those things like I laser focus on something and I boom, I
Hmm.
go through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Which goes
I
back to
did
what
that.
Zach was saying earlier about why you're
Mhm.
successful in all the ventures that you do. Is because that laser focus has a lot to do with it.
Yep. And then so at the high school, I went from there. And I wasn't sure really what I want to do with my life after that. Man, I still had like the martial arts in the back of my background, and then I had like the reptile thing too. But I started college that summer, and I was like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Like I started at Rutgers University, man, and I was like, this is not for me at all. I was like,
Was
I
it
could be doing.
was it the lack of discipline for you? Because like it seems like a lot of things you're drawn to are things that require discipline, right? Require that
Right.
set schedule. Do you
Yeah,
think that maybe had something to
because
do with
even through
it?
high school, it was school,
Yeah.
or martial arts or my job, and then
Yeah.
wash, rinse, and repeat. So having to set my own schedule and like yeah, there was
Hmm.
girls there, and it was legit college and stuff too. And
Yeah.
I spent like the first like the summer going in like the early classes too. I spent more time resting and recovering from partying than I did from like anything else. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then they was like, well, if you do the veterinary program, then first you actually got to go through medical school and all this other stuff. I was like, what? I don't want to deal with
Yeah.
people.
Why y'all making this shit
I'm
so
like,
complicated?
I
I
want
just
to
need
be
to
a
know
real
about these
doctor.
animals.
I was like,
Yeah. Right.
send me over there to the fucking cows. Let me fucking deliver
Right.
some cows and put my hand up their asses for a bit
Yeah.
and pull out babies and dirt or whatever the hell. And, let me do my residency and that's it. But it was like, no, you got to do a bunch of other bullshit. And then you got to apply for all the student loans. And I was just like, yuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's that list. Yeah. I got no patience for that level of bullshit because I'm like, you can't tell. Like, why do I got to jump through all these other hoops that are completely
Mhm.
unrelated just
Right.
to show that I'm dedicated or whatever the fuck? That's
Right.
dumb.
So it just so happened that while my senior year of high school, I went to the delayed entry program for the Marine Corps, which means that you don't have a ship date, but you can like do all the stuff just in case,
Yeah, yeah,
just in
yeah.
case college didn't work out. So I
Right.
had that stuff already done, and I had the paperwork filled out for that stuff, and did all the prerequisites and stuff for that. So one day I was I was watching Discovery Channel, and there was a bunch of Marines out on some boat, like freezing half to death, and like sniper training or some shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's fucking dumb. I'm like, who wants to do that? All right, sign me up. Yeah.
Let me make a phone call real quick and
Yep.
see what this
So
is
then-
really about.
Yep. So October 2000, man, I went to Parris Island, South Carolina, man. Knocked off those 3 months and became United States Marine, man. And fucking, right after that, 9 months later, a year later, the War on Terror happened and stuff too, and
Yeah.
the rest was history with that. So it just kind of, and then just being in the Marine Corps also, I got to meet like college wrestlers. Like a lot of our lieutenants and our pilots were like wrestlers. So then I started like wrestling, taking wrestling serious. And then one of my roommates was a purple belt under Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So that's when I really started getting, serious with Jiu-Jitsu and stuff too. And then when we had time off, wherever I was stationed, I was competing. There was like boxing matches here, kickboxing matches here. I remember the first time like a karate guy going into like a Muay Thai fight, and the guy kicked me in my leg for the first time with his fucking shin. I was like, you can do that here? They was
Right. Like, this should be illegal.
I was like, all right, here we go. And then that's when I decided, karate and taekwondo wasn't gonna get me but so far. So I found some Muay Thai gyms wherever I was and trained that, and just just always picked up something, man. I'm one of those people that like, if I failed at something, I didn't just put my head down. I go, well, why did this fail? And then how am I going to fix it?
Yeah,
so
you chase it to fill in that weakness. So like your karate training didn't work against like, oh shit, wait a minute. So I was trained there's rules. Out here in these streets, there ain't no rules no more. Like if it's like people. Can we talk to me about this, because this is a random thing I think about. I don't know why I'm like this. People don't talk about fucking eye gouging, dude. Like that's a real thing. Like if you're in a fucking life or death situation, like you can fucking go for somebody's eyes, and there's no rules against that if you're about to die.
But in a life or death situation too, you can also like kick straight. Like in a life or death situation, I'm not trying to roundhouse you to your fucking liver. I'm gonna front kick you straight to your balls, and
as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. I'm gonna try to explode your testicles.
I'm probably gonna rip your throat out. So,
yeah, right. So I guess I go to eye gouging, but there's way more extreme things. The same thing. I've thought about this stuff. I don't know why I'm wired that way. I guess I'm just a paranoid human being, but I'm like, what if? I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna try to kill this person. Like that's how I'm gonna react. But
hey, if it's you or me, it's damn straight gonna be me. So
so but it's just I don't know why. That's how my head goes. Anyway,
a common misconception about me is that I was just this failed fighter who tried to do something with a career and it didn't work out.
Sure,
that couldn't be possibly from the truth, man. So I never ever wanted to be a fighter ever. I just wanted to be good at martial arts. Like my goal was never to be a good fighter. I just wanted to be a good martial artist, So once I got out of that dogma of like, every discipline you go to, taekwondo is the only thing you need. Karate is the only thing you need. Instead, 2021, there's still people saying Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is the only thing you need. Are you fucking high? Like,
yeah. I mean, you've never heard any real fighter ever say something like that. I mean, not really.
So you have to be good at everything. Even like UFC 1, the Hall of Famer, like Horace Gracie, still come out sometimes and try to say, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is all you need. It's like that. So I was like, no, bro. Like,
and like if you go back and watch those fights, man, like if you have a bunch of one-sided fighters, like dude came out with one fucking boxing glove on, man, and like Horace Gracie mounted him and he tapped out to mount, like
he tapped out to be confused.
Right. At that point in time, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu it's gonna smash everybody. But when you have these people nowadays that these kids have been training a true mixed martial, everything from that good solid base of wrestling to jiu-jitsu to high level striking. Just one thing's not going to work on its own anymore,
dude. There's no rules right now that I train at my gym that if I shrunk myself down to their size, they'd fucking kill me. These kids, if I put myself down to being 4 feet 9 inches tall and 86 pounds, they would pull my head off. Like some of these kids are they're so good, man. Especially because like their parents are like UFC fans and stuff like that too, and they don't have the courage to train or want to do it, so they like trying to live vicariously through their children. And I can always tell which kids those are, you know. But yeah. So I mean, just back to the martial arts thing, man. Me being an MMA coach and a teacher was really like happenstance. Like when I worked for Boeing, when I was back in North Carolina, one of my coworkers' sons was just like some troubled teenager who kind of like needed something to focus on and nothing. He didn't like basketball, didn't like football too. So I started doing like private lessons with him one-on-one, like at my house on Saturdays, like for $150 a day. I was like, I'm like, man, you can get paid off of this shit. You know?
Right.
So it turned into that, and then I ended up just having like little small like group sessions like behind my house, whatever, like too. And then just stuff like that. And then every once in a while, I see a flyer for like a boxing tournament or a tough man competition. $1,500 here. So I go get my fighting license. Like win some little local tournament and use that little bit of money to buy equipment and shit too.
Right.
And that was pretty much that was how it went, man. When I moved here in 2010, it was the desert, like really nothing going on here. And there was one guy teaching grappling, but there was nobody like really fighting. I'm like, dude, you guys in California now. Like when I was in North Carolina, it's really nothing there like that. But here, this is like the hub of mixed martial arts.
Huge market. Like
So I just like started teaching that other guy's gym, and when it went under, I finally opened my own, and then just started like having fighters here, man. In 10 years, I put like 25 fighters through amateur professional mixed martial arts, and the highest I brought a guy from my garage or my gym was to Bellator. He's on a 2-fight win streak now. So
wow,
that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So I got a couple guys for the Combate Americas with Bellator. I haven't put anybody in the UFC yet, but but you never know though. So
some of them little 9-year-olds that'll rip your head off if you're their size. That's gonna be
over a long enough time period. Yeah, you got a good shot.
But also too, a lot of the guys, once I take them to the limits of what I can do here, as far as like my coaching ability and their training partners here, I have the connections now where I can send them to like Timo Oyama and Irvine. Where like one of my best friends, Alex Perez, is there. Carla Esparza, the first women's strawweight champion. I can send them to Greg Jackson's gym or Trevor Whitman's gym and stuff. And to the point now, I've like connected with so many people. Like I can call them. I can call Manolo, Liz Carmouche's coach, and go, "Hey man, I should have got on there for a month." He'd be like, "All right, yeah, man, let's get me a beer next time you come out." And that's it, That's a handshake, and that's it. And I look my fighter in the face and look, "Hey, look, motherfucker, I put my neck on the line for you. Don't embarrass me."
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's super exciting, though, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, through your connections and through your work, man, that you can offer your fighters and your people that next
springboard.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it just came out of seeing so many kids like getting screwed over, man. Like there's so many uncles and cousins and like these nasty managers who get a hold of these guys who could have been great. And they're just getting them all these crazy fights just to take their 25% of their purse and not doing stuff that makes sense, So I just thought that was just so nasty, man. So now, like me working at a fight promotion now, like I always made sure that I put fights together that made sense, and not just because we needed to sell tickets and like have the whole entire person mauling the other person. And since I've been the matchmaker for this organization for like 2.5 years now, like maybe I'd say 75% of the fights are like super competitive, and there's no like, you know what I mean? So, and that's like, I want exciting fights. I don't want one-sided bloodbaths. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's I don't. Like,
you want to take the politics out of it and just make it a good fight. Yeah.
Right. If you look at two guys and you can easily say, "Oh, this guy's gonna kill this guy," I don't want nothing to do with that fight.
You don't want to make that.
Yeah.
Like I want you to look at it, look at your partner next to you in the seat in the audience, and go, "Man, who you want to bet on, man? I don't know that guy." But look at this guy. But like,
yeah, you want everybody to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I want everybody to, like, even if you're rooting for your guy, I want you to be nervous for your guy that you're rooting for, even though we're fighting in your
100%.
backyard. So
100%.
Yeah, man.
That's when it's fun.
And I had an announcement I wanted to save just for this podcast as far as that goes too. So I don't know if you want to wait now or you want to wait till later on to talk about it or what.
No, let's talk. Dude, no, you can't. No, you can't build up like that and then just not go down. Let's roll into it now.
I made a post about it on Facebook earlier, Zach. I know you saw that post and stuff too, but I am actually getting my black belt jiu-jitsu this month. So
No shit. No
Yeah.
shit. That's amazing.
It's
man.
funny that you say that because I was fixing to ask. That was one of my questions. I know on belt check that you had your brown belt, and I didn't know if you had actually got your black belt yet or not.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah.
I've been eligible for a while now, and the buddy of mine, Arthur Copp, has opened up one of our affiliate gyms in Bakersfield because we like our my professor stopped his gym over COVID, and then like started driving trucks and stuff. And but I've been going to San Diego to our Alliance headquarters, training there still, and still training at my house, obviously, So I still been like busting my ass and like keeping my curriculum up. And he called me and he was like, "Yeah, man, I know it's like a weird time to call you because it was going on right now, but can you make it to Arthur's Grand Opening?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I make it to Arthur's Grand Opening, even if I gotta fucking get driven there or some shit." Like, good, because you get promoted. I'm like, fuck.
That's so
awesome,
fucking sick, dude.
So,
man, I'm hyped for you. I mean, for anybody that's listening that doesn't understand why that's a big deal, like literally, this has been something that you've basically dedicated like a large portion of your
10
life
years
to.
probably, right?
Yeah.
12 now,
Well,
because like, just some like, injuries and politics and like, and leaving gyms because BS happened and stuff like that too. And then like having to prove yourself all over again at your belt level with different teachers and stuff too. And getting the dog sicked on you and shit too, man. It's fucking, it's been a crazy ride, man. So,
yeah, and I think and you can attest to it way more than I can, but I think a lot of people don't realize when you see these UFC fighters, and they highlight just a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like to go and get a black belt in Taekwondo, it doesn't take that long. But to advance in Brazil, there's a lot more to it than people realize, and like the amount of time and training that you have to put. Like you said, you're 12 years in. And, I think the average from what is 8 to 10 years to get a black belt.
So it's definitely like, if I had to I was thinking about it yesterday since I got the call and I was estimating the hours. They say it takes about 10,000 hours to kind of like become an expert or something like that. Like if I had to guess and like do rough estimates and do like dirty math on the low end, I've probably got about 15,000 hours under it too. So yeah,
that's crazy. Man.
And this is and it's going to sound crazy to a lot of non-martial arts people, but this is one of the greatest achievements of my life. Like like getting my
it's insane.
So like
no, that makes perfect sense to me, man.
Yeah, like becoming a Marine, watching my kids born, all that stuff too. Like obviously, you can't take that stuff taken away from them. But getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu is the most difficult. It costs so many broken toes and fingers and elbow spurs and lost friendships, lost relationships. Because people always wonder why you want to go put on those stupid pajamas and go train and shit like that too. You know what I mean? So
well, you just said it. You just said it. How many hours? How many? Just the hours alone. First of all, let alone remind people like this is an optional thing in your life, right? It's a hobby. It's something you love. But at the end of the day, like anything we do in our lives is essentially optional. And this thing, on many occasions, is probably giving you 100 reasons to stop doing it, to quit, or to slow down or whatever. And yet you had the drive and the dedication and the passion for it to just say, nah, fuck all that. This is a thing.
Every day, man.
Yeah.
But and the hardest part about it is too, like, because my priority isn't to be like a jiu-jitsu competitor and be like a world champion grappler and stuff like that too. Like, I love teaching and coaching more. So just like, I'd rather see like my students and my friends around me be more successful than me. You know what I mean? Because that makes me I'd rather see my students' hand get raised in Bellator than my hand get raised at some fucking local grappling tournament. That don't mean anything to me at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I shine better when other people around me shine. So that's how I always felt, and stuff too, and helping people realize their dream. Because like, I'm fortunate enough to have a day job where if everything else I love to do, I just stopped doing. I mean, I'd be bored as fuck, but I'd be great. I'd probably have more money because I'm not spending it on bullshit.
Yeah. You wouldn't have so many irons in the fire. I get you.
Yeah, I got so many irons in the fire, man. But all those different irons is stuff I love to do. So when everybody tell me you need to slow down and stop doing that, I was like, no, that's what makes me happy. My real job pisses me off. You know,
Right, 100%,
you know,
100%,
everything else
100%.
around me, I could do with a passion and kill it. But my fucking day job that I make almost $100,000 a year is the one that's
Yeah,
fucking is the one I got to wake up in the morning and fucking be angry about every day. But I
right.
mean,
Let me ask you
I
this,
just
and I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna do it. Get the fuck over it. I want to ask this question though. Because from an entrepreneurial standpoint, you've probably heard this before, and I don't want to be those one people who's like, this is what you should do. My question, why would you not just walk away from the day job then and focus more on all these other things that are your passions? Like, and you don't have to answer that necessarily.
oh
I know
no,
that's
it's
a
a
deep
real
question,
reason.
but
No, it's
yeah,
a real simple reason. I can't keep my
yeah.
my pants when I was younger, and I pay fucking almost $3,000 a month in child support.
Okay. That's super logical. That's hey, say less.
Yeah.
That's super logical.
As soon
No,
as my
yeah, I was
youngest,
just curious.
I got my youngest is 16. As soon as she becomes a fucking adult, I'm fucking out. Like,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I also got other than that, I also have to provide their health insurance and their vision and all stuff like
Yeah.
that too. And you know, and at the point now, with just like 2 years left of doing that, I'm cool with it. You know, so like, I mean,
Yeah. No, that's
I'm just
a
it's just
very
I'm just
adult
yeah
thing.
the finish line is like right there, and I can ride it out too. Because honestly, if I didn't have children, then I'd just be doing like everything else I'm doing right now, and that's it. And I just thought to me, it was just the more responsible thing to do. So
No, for sure. That as soon as you said it, I'm like, that's all I need to hear.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, they're all with my ex-wife and shit too. So I don't have like before that, but oh, he must got multiple baby mamas. Shut up, bitch.
Right?
No,
Yeah. Y'all get the fuck out of here with your bullshit.
Yeah, just
I
my
saw some people
ex-wife.
lighting some pitchforks.
Yeah,
Getting their pitchforks, lighting their torches.
Nope, just my ex-wife, man. And you know, I've been paying child support now for like almost 15 years. So almost done, man. And then you know, then I'm really gonna get crazy. My son graduates next weekend too, and he's moving out here to become part of High Desert Python. So the collection is about to triple, baby, because he's gonna be cleaning up some snake poop.
Yeah. And then he's doing. Is that your same son that's got the YouTube channel going as well for the video game stuff?
Yeah, he's got his gaming channel. He's got his Twitch and everything like that too. So we're gonna make sure he has like the state of the art, like you know, the entire setup and everything that he envisioned that he want to have. I'm gonna make sure he does all that in exchange for just him being my camera guy, my video editor.
Oh yeah.
When I do vlogs, I'm gonna do like vlogs of the fights, like the one coming up June 19th. I'm gonna do fight vlogs for all that stuff too, and it's gonna be fun, man. So we're gonna
yeah. I'm excited, dude. The whole channel is gonna level up, and I think it's gonna be exciting to see your energy change too, because I know it's gonna be different. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, then it's probably gonna be worse because you know how you try to like be cool in front of like a kid and shit. And he's gonna be rolling his eyes behind the camera the whole time. Like, it's
gonna be way better, dude. I'm telling you. I'm picturing in my head. Because here's how I know it's gonna change your energy. Is watching your face as you were talking about it. You couldn't see it, but your smile got a little bigger as you were excited about it, man. I love to see that. That's fucking great, dude. I'm happy for you. Yeah, Nathan says, "Can Antoine adopt me?"
Yeah, I see that shit. What's up, Nate? Shout out to Nate. Man. Hope you're doing good, bro.
Dude, you guys want to use this time to segue into our segments?
Well, if you'd quit cutting people off, I think Antoine was going to say something.
Motherfucker, you're the one that
cut. No, go ahead, man. You guys,
let's roll. Let's do it.
All right. So, like we do every week, Antoine, we do band or musician of the week, and basically it can be somebody from way in the past to somebody that you know that's underground, a friend, just what you've been listening to or who you think our audience should listen to.
Who you think I think you should listen to right now? Dude, I'm old. I don't listen to like any of this new shit.
No, that's good though. That's even better.
Fine.
Yeah,
it can be.
I couldn't tell
this segment's always popular. For that reason.
I couldn't tell you a one Lil from the next. I don't know who the fuck.
Me either.
Pete Bozan, lost her sheep. Fucking none of that stuff, man. Like and just from like being in the military, I have like a big like musical range and stuff too. So you know, like a lot of people, you know, like I like this, like that. I listen to Tool, and because I actually know Maynard from Tool, so I've actually rolled with him a bunch of times, and like we beat the shit out of each other over the years. So. And when I first met him, I really didn't even know who he was. I just like some white dude.
Yeah. You told me about that.
She was like, "Yeah, you know who that is, right?" I was like, "Yeah, his name Maynard." It was like Maynard James Keenan. I was like, "Oh,
He's
that's
just
Oh,
some weird ass dude.
yeah. You're like, I
yeah,
don't know, some dude I'm trying to beat the shit out of. I don't know him from nobody.
yeah, man." So that's cool. I'm glad he's getting better now too, because he was recovering. He got COVID really bad twice. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, he's recovering, man. So shout out to the homie Maynard or whatever. So, but yeah. So just like like Tool, when their new album came out a while back and actually got put on streaming devices, I thought moving everything to streaming devices was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm from the East Coast, so I'm a big like '90s hip hop person. So like a big Nas Wu Tang guy. DMX's album comes out next week. Rest in peace DMX. So that's
Yep.
more
Yep.
me. So, but like I'm like more of like a lyricism type of guy and like
Hmm.
clever puns and wordplay.
Yes.
That's why I like dad jokes so much and shit, because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of effort where you could build layers on it and shit too. So yeah, so I mean just kind of things like that. So as far as like bands go, as far as like, like rock and shit like that too, like I'm Tool all the way, man. Those are my boys.
Yeah. It's got some
And
depth to it, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Tool is that's one of those things, man, that like people, there's that whole subculture of the Tool fans, the people
hmm
that are just what do you listen to? Tool. That's all I fucking listen to.
And
But
I didn't know that either. I was crazy. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
like
there's
my
that whole
fucking
subculture. And but yeah, it's funny because I didn't have any fucking idea that you were gonna say anything about Tool. I didn't know that you were friends with Maynard and any of that. And my band of the week this week was actually gonna be Pussifer.
oh shit.
And the
Nice.
the the funny thing about it is I was watching a YouTube video of like Maynard's craziest moments, and there was one where he was dressed up doing a Pussifer comment singing Country Boner, and Katie was like, how the fuck have I never heard this? And like she was laughing about it. And it's a crazy how the world just works in circles like that, because Pussifer was gonna be I've been planning it since fucking Monday, and then you come on here talking about Tool. But I will say Nas Illmatic is arguably the greatest hip hop album of all time.
Dude, my son's name is Nasir. He's named after Nas.
Illmatic is possibly the greatest of all time. Greatest album.
It's definitely up there, man. And it's funny about go back to Tour real quick is that for a long time I just had like a random like file name that I moved over from like my old computer onto like all my like iTunes shit or whatever. So I never knew the name of the song I always played, right? So one day I'm in the gym and I had the big gym and I'm like drilling by myself, like shooting double legs and stuff like that, whatever. And then the song is blasted. And then when the coach is coming, he goes, Antoine, I didn't know you like prison sex. I'm like, motherfucker, what you say to me? He's like, no, that's the name of the song. So I didn't even know the name of the song was prison sex. I've been there like warming up and stuff too. And he comes in there just like, I'm like, do you want to fight? Like, what the fuck? Like, no, man, that's the name of the song. You didn't know that? I'm like, no. So,
oh, that's the best. That's fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh man.
So many
Zach,
stories.
Who you got?
Dude, I gotta go this week with White Buffalo. I feel like I've mentioned him maybe before. It's entirely possible I'm repeating myself at this point. I follow into a lot of the same just like comfort songs or just like comfort artists. Like that dude just got a hell of a voice. The first time I heard him was on, actually he does a lot of the songs for Sons of Anarchy, the television show.
Oh shit. Okay.
And like there's like 4 or 5 of them that he did, and that's like I heard him for the first time there. Then like looked it up, like who sings blah blah. Like I typed in the lyrics to Google, to try to track it down from the show, and stumbled into his stuff. And man, like he's just got a hell of a voice, a hell of an energy. He's got some crazy songs about like veterans and PTSD and this, that, and the other, and just like man, just he's all over the map. But there's one song, I think it's called Home. Where's it at? Yeah, Home is in Your Arms. But it's dude, it goes so hard.
Song, yeah.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, especially like I said, anybody that's ever watched any of the Sons of Anarchy stuff, you've definitely heard him. His voice is just killer. and he's an entertaining guy. He's one of those people. He was a songwriter. Like, oh, I just want to be behind the scenes. Like, I don't want to be a performer and like known for that, or like a singer or whatever. And he's just so good that his agent and the people around him were just like, dude, like, go perform, like, go do your own shit, you know, like, you're capable. So just I like people's stories like that, man. Just anybody that's kind of almost successful in spite of themselves, you know. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Oh yeah. So our second segment that we do every week is a movie or TV show. You shout out any movie from all time or any TV show that means something to you, or that you just think our watchers should check out.
Yeah, Antoine, I totally dropped the ball on this and fucked up not telling you that part, so I apologize.
Oh, no. So,
you're totally not prepared.
Oh no, I started watching. Have you guys started watching Jupiter's Legacy yet on Netflix?
I haven't.
No,
I heard about it. It's on my list.
Effort. So okay,
Really,
have
it's
you
like
seen,
that.
have you seen The Boys on Amazon Prime? The Boys.
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought it was gonna be okay, just another like The Boys, not nothing like that. Definitely watch. I'm on episode 2, and I'm like, all right, I love this shit. So first of all, I like superhero stuff anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big like Marvel and DC fan and stuff like that too. And when I post my AMA early in the week, I'll tell you which side I'm on, because that was one of the questions. So you gotta wait for that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's one of those like hero type things, but it's not like the clear cut. Oh my god, we gotta fight for truth and justice.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Nah,
Oh,
it's
there's a new one on Amazon too. That's
that's The Boys. That's the Boys. Yeah.
No. There's another one that's it's
Another
animated.
one too?
Yeah. Fuck. I'll look it up while you're talking about this one, because it's super interesting.
But yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it kind of does a lot of time jumps and things too, man. And if you haven't, the people in the comment section, if you haven't watched that yet, definitely jump in there and take a look at it.
For sure. I'm gonna watch it. Like I said, it's been on my list for a minute, and I've just been trying to like mentally prepare, you know, because I can tell, I'm like, I know this is gonna have some depth, and I'm gonna want to catch every little detail, and maybe rewatch some things a couple times to like pick up on this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, man, that's gonna be good. What you got, Bradley? If you'll go first, because I want to find this damn show that I was watching, because I finished the first season.
Okay, so I've been trying to think of something that I wanted to shout out on this, because I'm out of shit that I'm watching currently, you know, because we do this every week, and I'm pretty much caught up on everything. So I'm gonna go with the movie Sling Blade. Like, y'all remember the 90s Sling Blade movie?
Hell yeah!
So I actually live in the town where they shot the movie. Like, that's where I'm from. And right down the street from me, like a block from my house, is Jerry's Drive-In, where he orders his French fried potatoes and all that shit. Like, that's literally right down from my house. And
you talking about Benton?
Yeah, Benton. Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah. And so with my daughter's friend is up here right now, and she had we went and got her and rescued her from the storms in Lake Charles this week. And so we were talking about the movie, and I was like, yeah, you got to come over here. And she was like, I have no idea what that movie even is. You know, she's a 13-year-old girl. She doesn't know what the fuck that movie is. And so I'm going to make them watch it. But yeah, Sling Blade is my movie of the week.
Hell yeah. And I found this just in time. So the show that I'm going to shout out, because I binged the whole first season. Now, granted, it's not a lot. It's not real long. I think it's only like 6 episodes. It's called Invincible. Dude, it's
dope, bro.
It's insane. It's an animated, which like kind of threw me off. Dude, this shit is so dark and so hard and heavy, so fast. It's amazing, and it's a Prime exclusive, so you can only get it on there. But they, like, as far as I'm aware, they've already like confirmed a second season. Like, but it's right up there with The Boys, like in terms of just like, oh fuck, I didn't expect that. Like, there's just this darkness from the very rip, and you know something bad's going on. Yeah, I was gonna say, Bradley, you don't even really like any kind of anime or cartoons or anything like that.
I don't really
but
watch
like
animated shit. But
yeah,
that was awesome. I watched it, and it didn't take me long to watch the first season.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the nice thing about it, right? Because I stumbled on it literally like on a weekend. I was like, oh shit, like what is this? And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't move from the time I started the first episode until it was over, and I was like, oh fuck, it's one of those I wouldn't have started it and then like kept watching if I knew that it was gonna be over. I would have like paced myself a little and like enjoyed it. But I've actually already watched it twice. Like I literally watched it straight through, and then like the next day I was like shit, like I'm trying to like refresh myself on some moments that I enjoyed, and so I literally started rewatching it again. I mean, it's really really good, and I'm excited to really see where they go because it's one of those that just builds so quick, and then it's like bam, season one's over. So it's a teaser for sure, but it's you'll enjoy it, I promise.
How many episodes is it?
Like I said, I think I'm just looking at it right now. It looks like the last thing I watched was episode 6.
Okay.
So
cool.
assuming I watched, which that sounds right. I don't remember it being very long. Let's see, view all. Not that. It is 8 episodes total.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's nuts, dude. Like people like, I'm not even gonna give anything away. I'm not gonna say shit because all the little details are super interesting. But yeah, it's a lot. It's intense for sure.
All right, so now we get and this one's all on you, Antoine. And I don't know if Zach mentioned it to you or not, but the reptile of the week. It can be any reptile. It doesn't have to be something that you own. Doesn't have to be anything that you've ever worked with. Just the reptile that people should go and look at this week.
Reptile of the week. I'll talk about. I'll bring up my favorite reptile that I will never own and I will probably admire from afar. How about that? Like, if I could like suspend it in the force field and I never had to worry about it escaping, I would definitely have a Gaboon Viper.
There you go.
That's my dude. You gotta respect the animal. Like, so I watched someone trying to extract venom from this thing, like on some Discovery Channel or something like a long time ago. And he was obviously pissed. I mean, like, because everything in that what's it, Beatus or Bitus like genus or whatever, they all like puff. It's like a puff adder related family. Yeah. Man, this thing did not want to be bothered at all. He was going like fucking like loud,
really
shit.
blowing
like,
out. Yeah,
we still gonna extract venom from this thing, and then they have like the longest thing. They have 2-inch fangs. So this thing, he got picked up and he deliberately bit through his bottom lip to get through the handler, and tagged the fuck out of him.
Yeah,
and you gotta how fast these things are, man, and how they can go from like a pile of dead leaves to like an instant kill, man. It's just something to behold. Like I probably would never. There's a bunch of venomous animals around me now. Like at any moment, there's like a Western Diamondback or a Sidewinder under my house or something like that too. Yeah. So I mean, and they can whatever, do your thing, keep the rats away, no big deal. But I probably never own a venomous because like I don't like the idea of my insurance company just dropping me. So
Right.
So long story short, Gaboon Viper is probably that's my animal.
I love that answer.
And it is a great answer. It's funny because Gaboon Vipers get brought up a lot. Like it's an animal that has been talked about on this podcast several times by Zach and I, and by guests. And I think that's one of those snakes, man, that they're just so impressive, and there's just something special about them,
and they're different.
Like cobras are special in their own way, and rattlesnakes are. But when you see this animal that's just got that huge diamond-shaped head and these 2 horns up out of its nose, and just there's just like a whole different level of awe-inspired that you get from a Gaboon Viper. Man, I agree with you. Even the rhinoceros viper that's right there, a cousin
right
to
there.
It. Like the Gaboon still, to me, it's more impressive than
Yeah, I still stand by the fact that those albino gaboons, Antoine, I think I told you about it before. Like, don't even look them up because you're gonna want
I
one.
won't.
Like,
I told you the same thing. I'm not
yeah,
looking that shit up
yeah,
so I can have a fucking albino gaboon.
yeah,
No.
dude, they're gorgeous. But yeah,
Nope.
you and I are on the same page. Like, man, I just, when because I'm that person. Like, it's not because I'm scared of anything. But what I am scared of, I'm more scared of like $100,000 hospital bill than I am of dying. Like I'd almost rather just not be here anymore than to know that I gotta pay all this motherfucking money back for some stupid shit. Have you seen the
picture of the guy with the $400,000 bill for getting bit and shit? I was like, nah,
yeah.
let me die.
Yeah, right. Just cut me off. I'm good because I don't need that level of stress.
Give me a bag of morphine and OD me and fucking let me control my own thing.
And we come full circle because I feel like this goes back to 7-year-old Zach being like, "Does my insurance cover that?" Because if not, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'm out. Like I'll be fine. Real. Y'all just release me now. Like, I don't need that kind of money going on me.
I'm doing that, man.
I feel like Bradley's about to come back like free hand on a Gaboon Viper or something. The way
I know, right? I'm like,
he was in such a hurry. I was like, did Bradley not tell me something? Like he went and got a Gaboon Viper and he's just like, oh, look at this guy.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
He's a real puppy dog, and he just got him, just stroking him on his shoulder.
No, man. And what's another thing that's crazy about Gaboon Vipers that I think people is they'll lull you to sleep, man. Like. Mm-hmm. It has the ability to slow itself down so much to where, its heart rate's nothing, its respiratory is nothing, and it can just sit motionless and perfectly still and then has that lightning fast strike. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. No, so hell of a choice, man. I think that's at least the third time that's been our reptile of the week, and I still never get tired of talking about him. I'm serious. But I think it's for good reason that there are so many people that are just absolutely enamored with those animals.
If you're a Gaboon enthusiast out there, don't make any pied ones or don't make any.
Right. Yeah. If you do, don't show them to me or Antoine. Neither of us can see that.
Yeah, y'all got those desert ghost Gaboons.
If somebody comes out with an ultra male Gaboon, don't tell me about it. I don't need to know nothing about any of that stuff. I'm gonna have to get out of the hobby or something. I don't know. I'd have to walk away from everything. Mm-hmm. But no, man, hell, you know what? We've been doing this for about an hour, and I could freaking talk to you. You already know for like 2-3 hours.
Dude,
let's try to wrap up a little.
It took you 1 hour and 10 before you mentioned Ultramel. I'm fucking proud.
I know. I know. You're so welcome. You're welcome. Fuck this. We're not wrapping shit up. I want to hear where you going with your ball python stuff. What you got? What's next? What are you excited about? What are you kind of foaming at the mouth to get a hold of?
Okay, I have 11 different chances at Hurricane Clowns, so I'm keeping every female Hurricane Clown this year back. The lesser clown, she got, as soon as she got out of quarantine, she was breeding to the hurricane the next day. So so I'll be selling plenty of hurricane males this year.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so with the Ultramel stuff, next season I'll be putting together the ingredients for the Ultramel Batman. So I'll be working on that. And I confirmed with Justin that he is not working on that project. So cool. What else? Monarch Freeways. That's the goal coming up too. And then I don't know if you guys saw. I posted about my Hellbender project, and I thought that was a dope ass name for.
Yes, I did see it, but I don't remember the specifics because there's like 7 things you're trying to put into it. And I was like, I'm not gonna remember this, but it's crazy.
Hurricane Spot Nose, Red Stripe, Asphalt, Mahogany, or Stranger Clowns. So because I'm gonna be working on both. So and then that pattern I think right there just be so dope. And then I think that's something to do when I do put together. I'm gonna promote the fuck out of it and I'm gonna make a whole TV show about it probably.
Right. Hey, I mean, listen, at that point, man, you're gonna be so deep in. I mean, there's got to be something to talk about. There's got to be some hella stories.
I have it in 6 different projects at the time, working on it together and stuff too. So when it's time to put them all together in that 6 or 7 gene clown, I can have a bunch of multi-gene clowns together, all going to you know what I mean. Just to kind of do that. So that's the goal. Let's see what else. Spot nose stuff. All my DG stuff is coming this year.
Yeah, I know you got a ton
Like,
of DG
yeah,
stuff coming.
ton of DG combos coming. That male is breeding like crazy. And then the red stripe clown pod and mahogany clown pod. Hopefully, as long as this red stripe het pod female proves out, because I bred her to a clown pod. So yeah, so I'll be hitting out I got a bunch of ways to try to hit red stripe clown pods next season. And they haven't, as far as I know, no one's made mahogany clown pods yet. So yeah, and just
Not that
phasing out
I've seen. Yeah,
just phasing out most of my yellow belly stuff and replacing it with asphalt. So
that's what I was just going to ask you about, because you mentioned with the
Mhm.
Monarch going the direction you're going with that. I
Yep.
thought I remember you telling me that you're going to start phasing that out, and I think we're going to see more of that. I think it's listening, take note of that. I think that's the direction.
And like I said, I'm gonna keep back the super asphalt stuff that I make, obviously, but the freeways to sell, So, especially
Yeah.
when I produce the Monarch Freeway, I'm not keeping it. So I'm 1,000% put it up for sale. But when it's all rolled ball pythons and it says produced by high desert pythons, I'll be like, okay, cool. A lot of people lately like discount, like, oh, making the world's first, and they kind of like, kind of shied away too. But the thing the thing that I care about more than money and all the stuff I like to do is recognition. You know what I mean? Recognition and just respect from my peers. So I think just making
leaving your mark.
You're right, leaving your mark and being the first to do it is important in every single aspect of every hobby and every industry that there is. So I just like people in the comment section when you seeing people like downplay world's first. Like I just think that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like enjoy it. Like put your mark on stuff and put your name on it. Put some respect on your name.
Yeah, that's the facts, because that's the thing. People don't understand what goes into that stuff. It looks easy. It looks easy because you did it, and they're like, oh well, if nobody's done it by now, it must have just always been there, but you just claimed it and blah blah. Like they genuinely have no idea. Just like what Justin says about the Pompeii, like. People have no idea how much he's made. How many of them? 3, 4?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
with the crazy collection he's got, and he's made definitely less than 10. I'm pretty sure it's less than 5, but definitely less than 10. That's insanity.
Yeah.
And then again, people want to talk about there's no money in ball pythons. The market's never going to last. Blah blah. Well, if it's not repeatable, then the market can't get flooded with product, can it? And it's called supply and demand. So as long as you're telling me that it's basically a guarantee that the supply on something like that is always going to be low, just because it's almost impossible to make, even using supers, then as long as the demand don't just disappear overnight, it should always be pretty damn solid.
And it will shift too. And you can tell, like,
of course,
right now everything's going towards the multi-recessive stuff. Like now, I remember when you made a 5-gene codon, they just like the first 5-gene codon they called it quints, and that was it. And then I'm well, dude, there's like 1,000 combinations of 5-gene codon. A 5-gene codon is a Tuesday now,
Right.
But just having a whole top row or rack of double recessive female breeders ready to go, man. That's gonna be the thing, man. Can you imagine, like, next time you do a facility tour in 5 years from now, and all a person has is ultra male clowns, DG pies, you know what I mean?
Right.
You guys should go sunsets and shit.
That's the thing that's coming. It's on the way.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the sunset puzzle shit. Yeah, them things. That's not important either.
Yeah, no big deal. Sunset puzzle stuff. All good.
Project that we have no idea how that thing is gonna look, and I'm fucking scared, bro. But
see, that's what makes me laugh about your stuff, bro, is watching you, because you'll tell me how, like, there's people either like talking shit on you because like you're because you are so out there, right? The social media stuff, like you kill it on that front in terms of like really getting some exposure. And there's a lot of people that they know you because of your social media presence, and they don't know anything about your collection. They don't know anything about what you do, what you sell, the animals you produce, because a lot of it is just like, yeah, like I made them and they were sold, and so I didn't talk about them or like feel the need to like brag on blah. You know what I mean? Like not the way that a lot of people would, but or the way that I think people expect.
This sunset puzzle shit is kind of biting me in the ass now, but because fucking I'm on like my YouTube and Miguel saying I paid 10 grand for these fucking normal babies. But now when I try to get a hookup on a fucking deal and I'm trying to call somebody, they're like, man, you just gave me.
Yeah, you set the price, right? You set the price yourself. You just fucked up.
It's like,
you left yourself no room.
Yeah, I'm like,
hey, so let me. I want to ask your opinion on this too, because this is something I was talking to somebody about not that long ago. In terms of, dude, raising prices on some of these projects that already exist. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a real thing. Like, everybody that sold out during COVID, right? They sold out. To me, that indicates that there's an imbalance in supply and demand and the price. Like, I think that a lot of shit is being sold way too cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, would you kind of agree with that? I know that's a dangerous thing to say, but
yeah, I just think this and then the value changes on things too, like I get a lot of laughter about what I'm about to say, and I get a lot of shit from people who call me dirty, but that's what I sold it for. So like, before Justin revealed that black pastel was the last ingredient in the Pompeii, nobody knew except for the people who clicked on the Pompeii picture and seen the words black pastel abbreviated under the file name. So the day that got revealed, I've been trying to sell my black pastel female, the one I made my logo with, the super black pastel. I'm trying to sell her for months. No bites or anything, whatever. I had her for sale for $200, right?
Wow.
So I took her down. I took her down the week before that, and I was like, I'm gonna keep her. I'll just do the repeat breeding and make these, because I sold a pair of super black pastels for like $2,500. So what? I keep her, breed her to a black pastel pied again, and make some 100% hits. So then once that came out, I was like, man, let me see what happens, dude. I put a single gene clown in with her, let them tie the next day, took a picture, put it online for sale, sold it for $800.
That's amazing.
$800.
But here's the thing. That's how it should be. The value was already there. Somebody else then took that value and made sure that it was established by showing, hey, this is a direction you can go with it. But that's why I say I think there's something to talk about there with people that just are undervaluing a lot of these projects. And of course, it takes patience and stuff and the other, right? To wait for the right price.
And also too, you have to factor in too, like the power you have to build you personally. How can you like dictate the price and stuff too? Because there's a lot of people.
Because no one person necessarily.
Right. Because a lot of people, like sometimes people that get flack for getting flack for like adjusting the prices and lowering stuff and things like that too. But like for example, when you go to like Levance's Morph Market and stuff, right? You'll see like the biggest joke about him is, oh man, he probably got his stuff for sale for $2 million and things like that. But it's gonna be one of two things. He doesn't want to sell it, and that's what it's gonna take for you to take it off his hands. Because I guarantee you he has no problem selling stuff at all. I guarantee that Levance Wells is not having a problem selling stuff. So when you see stuff, that you want to buy from him and you see it, what you call outlandishly priced, though, somebody's going to need that animal for their project because they have a vision and they're going to get it. You know what I mean? Like if nobody else has any asphalt clowns this year, but one or two people, I'm not going to sit there and fight them over how much it costs. I'm going to pay it, or
you're going to pay the asking price,
or do it the long way. Can I buy a baby asphalt clown for $3,000 now, or take a fucking clown combo to a asphalt female and then raise them up and then what I mean? No, I'm gonna do that. I'd rather have that time to do other stuff. You know what I mean? So I think just depending on the project, the right people to come along, and you can like set your prices that way and kind of go with theirs. So, and that's what it comes out to these days, man. Longer days for myself personally, where I need to sit there and haggle and compare prices. I don't go on Morph Market anymore just to be browsing. And I thought I would never see that fucking day 2 years ago. Like now I go, I look at my snakes and go, okay, I need this. And I only search for that, because if I start going, ooh, squirrel, then I'm you know what I mean?
Next thing you know.
The next thing you know, I got a bunch of bullshit I don't need because I'm fucking, I'm about to yell out a Gene, and then because last time I got yelled at when I said some bullshit Gene, people was like, "You're fucking with my livelihood here, buddy."
Right, like, or I fucking bought one of these, and it turns out it's not a good project to be in at all, and you said it was great, and I didn't know you were just fucking with me.
No, I just named a random word, and it happened to be a Gene people working with. I was just like, oops.
Wow.
Oh man, that's the most
What
ball
is a
python
turbo?
bro bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Chris Eaton is
What the-
laughing his ass off right now if he's still listening to this.
What the-
Serves that motherfucker right.
What the fuck
Naming
is
your
a
ball
turbo?
pythons is dumb shit. Your fucking
None of you-
turbos, your fucking
Yeah, none of you have
bullshit.
turbos, right? Turbos.
Oh
my God.
man,
Yo,
Jesus Christ.
if you come up to me talking about you got these turbos for sale, I'm probably gonna slap you. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They're twin turbo double head knives.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Twin
fuck out of here.
turbos.
Fuck out of here with your
Oh
bullshit.
man.
Antoine, what's the next show you're attending, sir? For anybody that might want to catch you in person, my friend.
When is Conroe is June
12th.
mid-June, right?
June 11th, 12th, 13th, I think.
So-
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
12th, I
So
know
the-
for 11th.
So
Well, 12th,
if,
13th. 11th is that Friday.
Yeah.
So if this time off of work that if the state of California does my money correctly and pays me my disability how they were supposed to, I would definitely go to the Conroe show. But if somehow they fail me and I have to fend for myself like a real adult, and not a welfare queen, I might have to push my I might have to wait till what's the Illinois one? The not
Schaumburg.
Yeah, Schaumburg. Yeah, that'll be the next one then. So
And that's
I'll do that.
what month is that? Do we all know? Does anybody remember? I don't know.
I think it's
I don't
July,
know.
right?
I was gonna say it's
then,
either July or August.
July or
And
August.
then
And then
there's a show.
September is
And there's a show right now in Vegas that I might make Sunday, the Sunday show. If I might just show up and say hey and come back and stuff too, and go and get some food and come back and chill
I
with
think I
some guys.
saw Brian Fontaine.
Brian Fontaine is out there with Cody. What was balls and beards, right? Beards and balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna kick my fucking ass when he sees this, and I don't. Yeah, so
June 19th and 20th. Okay. Damn, it's that tight together.
That's
I don't know if I'm making. Yeah, I don't because I already bought tickets and everything. I'm definitely gonna be at Conroe, but I don't see me taking 2 flights in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That starts getting expensive.
You gotta catch flights, not feelings, Zach. That's all you gotta
listen.
You gotta let them hoes know, Zach. You like, look, baby, I don't know about y'all, but I catch flights, not feelings, all right?
Oh man. You might be
man.
right. You might be right. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh fuck.
That's
that
fucking
one
gold.
got me.
You know what fucking got me, dude? I gotta say this. The greatest moment in my life, as far as my like online existence, was Antoine fucking saying that I looked like the fucking smiling happy baby from the fucking Teletubbies song, and then taking it a step further. And while I'm live making a post about that shit. Dude, you know I ended up gaining like 60 Instagram followers from that shit.
Good. I'm glad, man.
I was dying. You put me because I was at like 1160 something or 1170 at the most before that stream, and it's over 1200 now. So I was like, man, I'll take it. But I had such a good laugh. Like I'm still getting text messages from people like screenshotting, showing me that that's my damn profile picture on their phone. Like when I text them, that's what they got to look at. So it's fucking gold, man.
And it's in a reason too, man. Like you're exactly what this hobby needed and shit, man. So, we joke around. Me and you've been cool, for a while now and shit too. But the first time I talked to you on like the open Zoom call with Chris and stuff too, man, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but I think he's fucking got it, bro. You know what I mean? And then I, had you on my show, and then we talked on the phone a lot too. And I was like, man, I was like, you know what, man, this is exactly who we need to, man. He's going everybody's shit. He needs to go this, and he's gonna go just enough to be second place on 15 Minutes of Lame Snakes in the Fat Man.
I was waiting for it. And, I was like, we're just going up. I'm hearing the clicks like I'm on a roller coaster, like tick, 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 and then we're going down. It's gonna happen.
Man, he's like the second best guy to ever be on there behind myself. So.
See, and I was about to compliment you too, but I'm debating on it now. But no, I was actually genuinely before you said all that.
You do know towards the end of the year it's going to get ugly, right?
Oh, I already know, dude. I can already feel it. Because here's the thing, I got the gears turning in my head. I can already feel it that it's going to be ugly for everybody involved.
Dude, I got diss tracks coming. I got
fucking. Oh man.
Dude,
man, I'm already behind.
Dude, I got fucking Chuck Liddell talking shit for me and shit.
No shit,
It's gonna be
dude.
fucking.
Oh
It's gonna
man.
be fucking nuts and shit, dude. I told
Oh,
Chris Ward that I was gonna have Maynard from Tool do a
that's
shout
what I
out
was just.
for him. I'm
That's what I was just
actually
gonna
have him go.
say.
I'm gonna have him on camera going, man, fuck Chris Ward. No
Yes, yes, dude. Thank you for being in my head because that was the first thing I thought as soon as you said Chuck Liddell. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, we got to get
It's
you
gonna be,
to get
Yeah,
Maynard James Keenan to
if you
talk
get
shit,
Maynard on there, like Chuck Liddell, but Maynard fucking
dude. But
that's a whole other
especially if you
level.
get him, especially if you get him talking shit about him, dude, he will have a. He would. I think he'd be torn on how to feel. Like it would still totally make his day. Like he would probably take it like he would take it like a dominatrix, just whipping him like, yes, sir, Mr. Maynard James Keenan, I am a piece of shit. You're right.
No, but not on that serious note though too. Like I promised Chris a while ago, I would do that for him. So like when Maynard is better, if I get to train with him again, I'm actually gonna fucking have him like do it while we're like in the gym rolling and shit and fucking like, hey man, I like, because dude, he's been like every tool show in Canada.
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah. Well, and then he's again is just another one of those people, man.
Yeah.
Like I feel that way about you, and I feel that way about Chris. Like there's just a handful of people, and not that there's not a ton. I mean, there are, but there's a handful of people like Bradley, that I just immediately just felt attached to and was like, man, like these people just have this positive energy and they're just sharing that shit with everybody, man. Again, you do a ton for so many people, man, and again, we joke around a lot, we bust balls and talk shit, but at the end of the day, I think all of us got really big hearts, and I just love that, realistically, there's not that many of us, but there's a solid few that like you're never gonna really see too much negativity around, because we just not that we don't know it exists, but we're just like past that shit. We're just trying to just keep rolling and keep pushing forward. So
and like you know how much energy it takes to be mad at people? What the fuck?
it's way more difficult than it is to
For
be easy and just move on.
Dude, like I made a post on my story yesterday. I was like, man, like you could literally become a millionaire knowing the right person.
Yes, literally, it's that
like,
simple.
That's it, dude. Like everything good in my life that happened to me is because like I inadvertently did something nice for a person that I didn't have. I had no idea that they held some kind of weight in some industry that I was interested in. Before UFC sold to WME a couple of years back, I was in Vegas and I held the elevator door for a random guy with a bunch of papers in his hand because he looked like he was busy. And he said, hey, man, do you like the UFC? I was like, as a matter of fact, I do. So for 2 years straight, I had free tickets to every local UFC event because he worked for the company, but he didn't want anything to do with the fights. He just liked the graphic design and shit like that, too. So I got 2 free tickets to every UFC event in Vegas for almost 2 years just for holding the fucking button open for somebody. That was
just being nice.
But you never know, man. You never know who that dude is,
Yep.
Like,
dude, man. No, like people, like a lot of people I watch, when I'm like in bad moods on like YouTube and shit like that. Like those guys from the fucking forest that like fucking make fucking like mud houses and shit like that. Dude, when they got there, I'm following them when they were having when they had 50,000 followers, dude. When they got their fucking their gold plaque and they hit over 1 million, dude. I started fucking crying like a little bitch and shit. Right. I was like,
hey man,
balling. I was like ugly crying. I don't know these little motherfuckers. But like I was super happy for him because like when you up 2 o'clock in the morning and you bullshitting, what comes across your feed? Fucking mud mansions and those guys. And shit
it's the running joke, but it's the facts. It's a running joke that became so popular because everybody has seen that shit and has watched it. I mean, none of us know why, but dude, absolutely no. I felt the same shit, man.
Cause that's a skill, man. Like just like I suck at like building and like crafting and making shit. So like I admire people who can do that shit. Like
Well, and I
feel
like you and I are wired the same way in the sense that like, especially you now because you've embraced it so hard, man. Like we see people that are good at things, and I want to shout at these people. I'm like, you got to start a YouTube channel. Like you got to do this. You got to like get yourself out there. And because I get so excited about for them, like sharing their journey. Cause I'm like, I see where they can go. Like I see where they're at. And I'm like, fuck, like, do you understand like how far you could take this and literally have that thing that you just love to do that's fun for you, pay your fucking bills, and you never have to go to a fucking job that you hate every day.
I literally have had that conversation with a guy this week. So, I told you we went to the arm wrestling thing or whatever. So a good friend of mine is training with the #1 arm wrestler right now, Michael Todd. I don't know if you know anything about arm wrestling, but Michael Todd is from Hot Springs, Arkansas. And so like Juji Mufu and all these big time YouTube guys have been filming. And like my buddy who's just getting into arm wrestling just beat Juji Mufu on his own fucking YouTube channel. I'm like, dude, you got to be collabing with these dudes and fucking throwing that shit out there. And like, I mean, they're these big YouTubers are like throwing his name out there and all this. I was like, man, jump on the fucking wagon right now.
Yeah.
Like
lean into that
bus is at the station, bro. Like get on that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Hey,
man. That's all it takes.
Hey, Bradley. Hey, Bradley, how far are you from Antoine, Arkansas?
That's my hometown, Highway 301, baby.
Oh shit! So if you're ever there, bro, you have to give me like a sign, like a welcome to Antoine or fucking.
No problem, dog. I got you. I got you.
I don't care. Let me know how much that shit costs. I'll see you.
Hey, you coming to Conroe?
I want to. Yeah.
Message me. Let me know if you're coming to Conroe. I got you.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be.
I was gonna say you're talking to the right one, Bradley. Bradley runs them highways.
Nobody knows that Antoine, Arkansas even fucking exists, man. It's population 311. Like
that's crazy.
That's literally
Google that.
My mama's
Bradley
house.
knows the exact number.
I'm such a narcissist that I know where every city, town, fucking like even my last name. Like I've been to Hood River, Mount Hood in Oregon, Fort Hood in Texas. Fucking.
Yeah, man. Antoine, Arkansas is where I grew up. It's funny. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, population 311, Pike County.
Katie said we're getting that signed tomorrow.
Yes.
Man, I got one last question for you, Antoine, that's I've been wanting to get to you.
Okay.
If there's anybody that you could roll with, who would it be?
Probably one of my favorite MMA fighters, and unfortunately, he just got his arm broken last week. But it's Ronaldo Jacare Souza. It's probably my dream jiu-jitsu match. Like completely healthy, both of us, all out, like starting from the standing, like nuts. He probably destroyed me inside of 45 seconds, but But I just heard a lot of people that I know that competed against him back in the day and just like trained with him before. They said it's not like the same thing. Like he's like superhuman. Like when they said when he just grips your gi, it's like there's a fucking robot that snatches you up too, man. So, but I know I just added you on Facebook recently, but I made a post a couple months back that once the world opens back up in 2022, I'm gonna go to every one of my Facebook friends that's a black belt and roll with them at all of their gyms around the country. I want to do that.
So you need to
huge,
come
man.
up here to where I'm from and roll with Jory Malone from Revolution MMA.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
his place is right down from mine.
So it's gonna be crazy, man. And like, and then going to my Facebook friends list after I made that post, I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. Gary Tonin.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Hell yeah.
A lot of people. If nothing else, you're just gonna be wore the fuck out.
Yep, because most of the world champions are all like my Facebook friends, like Tom Knox and his guy, Vinny Margulies, like Gabriel Rudiger.
Vinny Margulies is like ridiculous, man.
Dude, so man,
flying
I got so many stories, but dude, okay, real quick. So I got my purple belt in 2016, and I went to Vegas for Mr. Olympia, and I was like, man, I need to be, testing out being this new purple belt as much as possible. And Vinny opened up his own gym, and he took all his world champions with him when they left Syndicate MMA. So I went to that gym and rolled from world champion level, from blue, purple, brown, and eventually to him. And I slept the whole way home. They do 10-minute rounds on, 75 seconds off. So a minute 15 on, 10-minute rounds. By the time I got to him, I took like a little break because it was an odd amount of people. So I bitched up and did take like a little tiny break and shit and drank like a half a gallon of water. I got to him and it felt like I never did jiu-jitsu in my life. He literally like laughed me out of the ring. Yeah. But
for you in that moment, man, like what was your takeaway from that? Like were you obviously you're a competitor, right? But were you also on some level excited about the fact that you felt you had that much to learn?
Not yet, but I follow him from the Ultimate Fighter, and I know like one you could ever leg lock him ever because he don't tap the leg locks, and I know that like
Yeah.
he's like a phenom. Like at that time, he was like still one of the best in the
Yeah, he's
world.
flying
So,
armbar everybody at that time.
yeah, he like flying like triangle Chris Weidman or something like that in Abu Dhabi. So I mean, I knew he was the best, whatever too, but I didn't know like what made him the best. And not only is he freaking like he has flawless technique, there's like no fluff at all in his move, but if for some reason there's a stalemate with that, now you have to deal with this guy who's built like the fucking Atlas statue. And then you fucking so
he's just got way more gas in the tank. Yeah.
So now you want to out in shape him? Okay, good luck with that. Fucking,
good luck.
and he's younger than me, and he's 6'2", and you know what I mean? Like it was just all this shit like stacked against you, man. And like, and to this day, since then, like we've been good friends, man. And we're talking about planning the hunting and shooting trip real soon and stuff too. And I'm like, dude, I want to get better at jujitsu. He's like, no, but I want to shoot, bro. Like, you know how to do that shit. I'm like, no. No. Okay. I guess that's a compliment, but
right.
He's a big gun guy too, So out in that Las Vegas desert, it's just nothing but fire range out there. So
I'll tell you what, man. To boost up that narcissistic ego, you need to come in the fall and kill a deer in Antoine.
Oh, fuck yeah.
My family's got a 5,800 acre farm. Like, you can come and hunt deer. Like, I'll put you on some deer. Wild pigs, all that shit.
Yeah. Oh, man. You're going to have me. You got to start a whole new YouTube channel now.
Antoine's like, listen, let me build a little cabin. Y'all won't even know I'm there.
I live in an outhouse and shit for like 3 weeks, bro.
Right.
Fucking.
Yeah, man.
Few weeks
this fall, you need to come down. We'll put you on it, and I'll guarantee we'll put you on a big buck, 10-point buck or bigger, in Antoine.
Antoine and Antoine.
Yep.
Antoine squared.
Nice. Dude, I had oh man, I'm just so happy. I'm in a good mood now, man. I'm in good spirits, man. And this really helped a lot, man, because I've been like real down for the past week too. And I knew when I came on this show, you guys are gonna be fucking badass and shit, dude. So fucking I enjoyed it.
Hey man, we always bring the energy. No, seriously. We've been looking forward to this one for a while, man. Your name's been on our list to get to for a minute, and it's just me, I'm always all scatterbrained and like last minute with a lot of shit. I'll hit you up like, hey, I need to talk about something, and I'm like, well, we can talk about it later. And then I spill the whole idea about just like whatever, like I just vomit at the mouth like I'm doing right now. But at the end of the day, man, in all seriousness, it's good to fucking see you, dude. I talked to you a couple times this week, check in on you, and it was good to hear your voice. And I could tell, you seemed a little bit out of it, and which is understandable, with everything you got going on. But man, like tonight, dude, I can like 100%. It sounds like you're back to your real self.
Yeah, man.
I can see that energy's coming back in you. It's good. It's just good to fucking hear you hyped up again, man. And then I'm super stoked for the rest of this year and to see everything you got going on.
I just saw a fucking mouse run across my floor. I think one of the fucking.
That sounds about right. I believe it. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say.
I fucked up somewhere. I'm gonna send the dogs in here in a bit. So
you get it figured out. I was like, but I saw you, and now I'm gonna have to go back and watch this video and laugh my ass off at you watching this mouse run around your room. But no, we do, man. We really appreciate you in all seriousness, and obviously there's been a ton of people that have I need to shut up and let other people talk. Get the fuck out of here.
Bradley, man,
there's been a ton of people in the hobby.
I'm happy to finally talk to you, Brad, man, because I heard a lot about you, watched the show before and stuff too, man. And then we interacted a little bit in all intent and shit too. When you do drive-by shout outs and shit like that. Hey, but it worked because I watched the fuck out of the channel since then too. So, get out of my kitchen fire. I'm like, oh shit, who is this? I'm like, that's fucking Brad, no shit. So yeah, that was cool, man. So I'm glad to finally chop it up with you and fucking didn't realize how much shit how much we have in common and shit like that too, man. So fucking I'm excited for the next few years, man. Everybody's fucking doing great. We got so many great projects coming up, man. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, dude. You guys got more likes than you got viewers right now, and that's fucking that's what you want, man. That's how you want, man. You want that fucking that positive like ratio and shit too, man. So. And everybody knows
Genuine
when
support.
I'm online, I don't play that shit. If you in here in the comment section, you better be liking the fucking you better be liking the video, bro. Hell yeah, shit, because it helps and everything, man. Because we got to get the shit monetized like ASAP. You know what I mean? So,
we'll
yeah.
get there.
So we got to do yes. No doubt in my fucking mind, brother. So, yeah, but
No,
I got
thank you
nothing.
again, brother.
If you got nothing for me, man, I appreciate you both, man.
Yeah.
This is the awesome
Let's
channel.
get you some rest.
Fucking all right, guys. Hey, have a good night, bro. See you later. Peace.
No,
right,
thank
man.
you guys. Appreciate
Appreciate
y'all.
it.
Thank you again, everybody, hanging out here. Bradley, you want to close this out the way we always do?
Yeah, man. Appreciate Antoine being here. Make sure you tune in next Friday night. We got Earl Jones from Lone Star Reptiles going to come in, hang out with us. Man, we love all you guys that feel like you are connected by creatures. Click that in broadcast, Zach.
Got it.